The GTA franchise has had a somewhat loose affiliation to its canonical established universe. Locations, places, businesses, and even characters have been established to exist beyond the confines of their own games. However, while the names of cities have remained the same, the maps of those cities themselves have changed as the technology of the day has allowed them to expand, with creative license allowing us to shut our eyes and accept massive changes to cities and infrastructure. That said, Rockstar have left enough references sprinkled into their games and even full-fledged cameos of former playable characters to let us all know that GTA has an established universe encompassing each released game. In this video, we're going to take a look at a few characters who are canonically still alive and could potentially return in GTA 6. By canonically alive, we mean characters that have not died in any previous game. If deaths could be a result of individual player choices, they don't count as not every player will have decided to kill them off. Firstly, introducing Lucia and Jason. Lucia and Jason are two new playable protagonists that are making their debut in GTA 6. They are playable together as seen in the leaks of September 2022, and switching between them will be instantaneous. The main story of GTA 6 is set to revolve around their Bonnie and Clyde-esque romance, raising the stakes of intense heists as the couple evolve from robbing small-town diners to potentially pulling off some insanity that rivals the bonkers escapades of the Fast and Furious franchise. As Lucia and Jason move along their character arcs throughout the game, it's been suggested that the player's decisions will have an influence on where their relationship takes them and how it develops, opening the door to alternate endings that result as a consequence of the player's actions and the way they have approached the game's challenges. Rockstar's previous cameos. Since GTA entered its 3D era, Rockstar have returned quite a few characters throughout the series, establishing their presence beyond the narratives of the games they were introduced in. Non-playable characters like Salvatore Leone, who dished out plenty of missions to the protagonists of GTA 3, San Andreas, and Liberty City stories. There have even been playable protagonists from previous games making appearances in games further down the line. The iconic, stoically silent Claude faces off in a race with San Andreas protagonist CJ. Johnny Klebitz, who was playable in GTA 4's Lost and Damned DLC, makes a brief comeback in GTA 5 before being brutally murdered by Trevor. Interestingly enough, Johnny is the only playable protagonist to be killed canonically by another playable protagonist, albeit it wasn't the player who did the killing. So, with all these little comebacks that Rockstar has thrown in, not to mention the many sprinkled in non-player characters that have made cameos throughout the 3D era's history, one can only hope and speculate as to who might show up along Jason and Lucia's path to criminal stardom. Tommy Vercetti. Tommy Vercetti made his first GTA appearance as the main protagonist in GTA Vice City, voiced by the late, great Ray Liotta. It's been speculated that this fan favorite will make a comeback, obviously being voiced by someone else. As the franchise is returning to Vice City in the modern day, Tommy will be much more advanced in age if he does make a return. But, as his fate was left ambiguously open after the events of Vice City, his story could still have a part to play. The first Vice City game left Tommy as quite possibly the most powerful and unopposed criminal in the city. It would be a fitting homage to a fan-favorite character and beloved actor well known for his portrayal of criminals to receive some well-earned closure, and a rounded-off end to Tommy's arc. Niko Bellic. Another fan favorite who made his debut by arriving in Liberty City fresh off the boat. Niko Bellic's story has not gone any further than the end of GTA 4, a game where two separate endings exist. If Rockstar were to bring him back for a cameo, they would either have to choose which of his endings is canon, or leave that detail out entirely. For those who don't know, shut your ears for spoilers, although GTA 4 was released in 2008, so I think we're past spoiler warnings for it by now. Either Niko will have left a life of crime behind him, possibly reconciling with Kate, and coming to terms with the death of his cousin Roman, or he has returned to a life of crime as a broken man after being spurned by the undercover agent, Karen Daniels, that he knew as Michelle. Interestingly, Karen has a cameo in GTA 5 where she mercilessly interrogates an innocent man. Then, our lovelorn Eastern European lost his second love interest, Kate, to some stray gunfire that was intended for him. Either way, Niko did not get the best of endings in his installment of GTA. When referenced in GTA 5 as a, quote, Eastern European guy making moves in Liberty City that went quiet. Whatever ending is canon for Niko, his story still remains one of tragedy without closure. We can only hope to see his character return, if only to know that poor Niko is doing okay, or if the hardened Balkan is forever mired in a cycle of being damned for doing and damned for not doing. Even more possible cameos. The roster of GTA protagonists continues to grow as the franchise evolves. Many fans would love to see the return of previous characters, and it is just as possible that there could be more cameos in potential DLC. As the GTA 6 map is set to expand after the initial release of the game, it could be that GTA 6 will include the ability to visit other established locations in the GTA franchise. It would be a mammoth undertaking to include all of the GTA city maps in one game on initial release. But Rockstar's plans to release more and more content slowly over time could enable them to make this possible, transitioning between the locations either as DLC story extensions or as online mode content could allow for the inclusion of a series of favorite characters. Characters such as Tommy Vercetti, Niko Bellic, Claude, CJ, Franklin, Clinton, Trevor Phillips, Michael Santa. Franklin's possible return. As the most recent returning character in GTA after making a comeback in GTA 5's online mode, Franklin is the most likely character to return. GTA 5 had multiple possible endings where Trevor or Michael could have been killed. A third possible ending left all three of GTA 5's main protagonists alive. It's not clear which ending Rockstar will go with as canon, but the only conceivable way to keep all three endings possible is for Franklin to be the only returning character, as he is the only one who survives all three endings. Other GTA characters who have returned include, aside from characters already mentioned in this video, there have been quite a lot of notable returning characters throughout the GTA franchise. Some characters' appearances have served to flesh out their backstories, as some games have been set before the events of previously released games. Other cameos have come later in the chronological order of the GTA established universe, but still lent themselves to fleshing out the characters that they feature. Here are a few of them. Maria. She was a big supporting character in GTA 3 and the reason why Claude, the playable protagonist, had to flee Portland. It was initially theorized that she was killed off after the end of GTA 3. Maria is seen to be working in a Las Venturas casino where she is charmed by the mob boss Salvatore Leone, who convinces her to join him in Liberty City, thus serving as her origin story and setup for GTA 3. Donald Love. Donald Love is a mission-giving character that the player will meet towards the end of GTA 3. The game ends with his mysterious disappearance, and as the game was set in the year 2001, his whereabouts are unknown to this day. In one scene in GTA Vice City, he makes a brief appearance, where the players learn how he came to acquire such a keen business acumen. Avery Carrington mentored Donald Love, a fact that Donald attests to when he mentions his mentor in GTA 3. Phil Cassidy. During one mission in GTA 3, Claude is tasked with defending an army surplus store from a cartel of Colombian sicarios. The store is owned by a crazy one-armed dude named Phil. In GTA Vice City, Phil appears as a much more fleshed-out character, voiced by none other than Gary Busey. Here, he is an accomplice to a bank robbery where the player learns how he lost his arm. Afterwards, the player is able to purchase weapons from him. Ken Rosenberg. From the very opening drug deal in GTA Vice City, Ken had stuck by Tommy Vercetti's side through and through. A constant mission-giving character and aide-de-camp to Tommy as he built his criminal empire. Appearing again in GTA San Andreas, Ken is down on his luck, having made some powerful enemies. The player, as CJ, helps him out of the hole that he's found himself in. Kent Paul. The cocky Brit who aligned himself with Tommy Vercetti in Vice City and provided intel and high-profile contacts. Even though his insufferable nature aggravated Tommy and provided players with some comic relief. Kent becomes an acquaintance of CJ in San Andreas, but it is nowhere near as useful to CJ as he was to Tommy. Tony Cipriani. Players first meet Tony in GTA 3, where he uses Claude as a pawn to take down gangs of triads through a series of missions. 3 years before the events of GTA 3, the setting of Liberty City Stories takes place. Here, Tony is a playable protagonist making his way up the ranks of Salvatore Leone's crime syndicate. The game serves as his backstory and tells the tale of his rise through the crime family to take his position of power when he finally meets Claude. Patrick McCreary, American-Irish mobster and loyal friend of GTA 4's protagonist Niko Bellic. McCreary has appeared in both GTA 5 and GTA Online, where he assists in heists. To find him in GTA 5, however, players needed to find him holding up a drugstore in Strawberry. If the players chose to assist Patrick and help him get away, he becomes available as a gunman for future heists. He will also reveal details and dialogue about his escapades in Liberty City and leave little information as to Niko Belic's whereabouts, as he claims the two have lost contact. Salvatore Leone. It's not surprising that the Don of the Leone family would be a recurring character throughout the canonical timeline of GTA. Salvatore appears in GTA 3, San Andreas, and Liberty City Stories, serving as a mission giver, whose main goal is to keep his family's crime syndicate on top, and above all, competitors. Will his legacy try to expand into modern-day Vice City? Who knows? Catalina. Rockstar's warning to all Casanovas would be to not go putting their dick in crazy. Catalina establishes herself as an unhinged and untrustworthy woman who betrays Claude in the opening of GTA 3, leading him on a hunt to bring her down. Years earlier, it's revealed that she had a fling with CJ in San Andreas, where the two shared a turbulent relationship during their own crime spree, before she eventually dumps him as well. Later in San Andreas, we meet her new boyfriend, who is none other than Claude. He and CJ proceed to face off in a race at Catalina's behest. Laszlo Jones. A mainstay character since GTA 3, Laszlo has, up until GTA 5, only been a radio personality and has never made a visual appearance. After his awful treatment of Tracy DeSanta, he becomes a target of Michael and Trevor, as the two eventually serve him his comeuppance. A rather satisfying subplot that sees Michael tattoo a very humiliating, not safe for work object on Laszlo's chest. As you can see, there is certainly room for more crossovers. It's perfectly possible that Rockstar will expand the use of their IP beyond GTA. When making a character in GTA Online, it was possible for players to choose John Marston from the Red Dead Redemption series as a father. Lord knows how, seeing as though he died in 1911, any of his progeny would be over 100 years old by the events of GTA 5. Rockstar have already left some hints that their Red Dead and Grand Theft Auto universes are connected in canon. Books by Jay Marston, possibly Jack Marston, John's son, have been found dotted around the world in GTA 5. Establishing a wider universe has been Rockstar's MO since they first made GTA into a 3D game franchise. As we eagerly await the next installment, it will be fun to see those little threads that tie the whole thing together. If you enjoyed this little venture into the multiverse of GTA, check out some of our other videos on all things Rockstar, GTA, and GTA 6. By giving us a like and subscribe, you will also be appealing to the whims of the YouTube algorithm. It is in the computers. It is in the walls. It is in your mind. Let it in and be served content curated only for you.